Hey, faithful YouTube fans. So, we're back again with another review, although this one's not Pathfinder review. This review is going to be for Liber Fanatica VIII, which was released by Sean Connors and a bunch of other amazing people who put out this product. So, for those of you who don't know what Liber Fanatica is, let me just say it is a fan-made magazine. It's a PDF product that you can download for free online. You just have to go to liberfanatica.com. I believe it's .com. I might be mistaken. But anyway, it is a product that is centered around the Warhammer fantasy role-playing game. I'm not too familiar with Warhammer myself, having never played it, haven't really done anything with the system or anything. But after reading this and looking into it a little bit, it's a really great product, and I might be getting into Warhammer myself. So, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Liber Fanatica. Liber Fanatica VIII is an amazing product. 96 pages of pure epic awesomeness. It's top-notch. It has anything you can ask for. It, product-wise, looks like it was put out professionally by the Fantasy Flight Games, the people who make Warhammer. It looks like it's their own stuff. So really great stuff, guys, that made it. Really great. For those of you that download it, be sure to download the pull-out section. It has all the handouts and the little cards for Warhammer, I believe it's 3rd edition, that they just came out with. It has all the awesome little cards and handouts. It's great. They have the same quality. They are exactly what the Warhammer Fantasy product comes with itself. It expands upon those. It'll fit right into what you already have if you have the system. So, let's get down into it. What is in this product? So, first and foremost, there is a foreword by Sean Connors. It is a wonderful foreword. Sean, you did a great job in that. It's just a great, amazing product. The artwork in this product and the theme of this product are amazing. It's focused on the criminal empire. So, looking at the empire, I believe it's called the Empire of Sigmar, if I'm mistaken, sorry. Like I said, I'm not really good with Warhammer, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But the empire, and it's the criminal side of the empire, the dark and seedy underbelly. So everything focuses on that criminal empire. So the first article we get into is a 12-page discussion, rules entries into trade, and it is by far an amazing product. The articles on trade are so in-depth. It allows players who are interested in becoming traders, like not a traitor, like a trader, D-E-R-S, not A-I-T-O-R-S. So you're trading goods back and forth. And it's a way to make some quick cash, let me tell you, in vast quantities. There's a simple rule system, there's an advanced rule system, it's great. But what I found the best part about this article was that it's transferable easily into any other system. You could easily take this and put it into Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, anything. It's so simple. All you got to do is change a few things into putting it into the other rule system. Perfect. Next we have Honor and or Contempt, and this is a 8-page article about social behavior in game and how to be a good rogue or thug in the streets of the Empire, and really how you can advance your play as a rogue or a thug, excuse me. And it's just a nice little article, a little bit in depth. It doesn't have too much. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking. Technical stuff. I can't remember the term right now. It doesn't have. It's more about I don't want to say fluff, but it's more about just ways you can advance your character yourself. It doesn't have anything to do with the mechanics of the game. Then we come into the 16 pages of the Law of the Empire, which is a historical look into the founding of law and order in the Empire society. And it details punishments and tips for making trials in the game, like putting players on trial for breaking and entering, which is fantastic. Trials are difficult to create in most cases because you have to have all these evidence trees, etc., etc., and then you have to do it all with NPCs, and it can get really complicated. But with this rule system built in to this article, fantastic. It's perfect. I don't want to say dumbs it down. What is it? Simplifies into so many different aspects that it makes having trials a malicious and seedy things for GMs to do. So if any of my players are watching, be on the lookout if you guys try to do any robbing or anything, because if I catch you, there's going to be a trial with these rules. So, moving on, we have the 8-page article, The Sharp End of Justice. And this is the executioner career and executions in the Empire. This is really cool because, let's face it, in the Empire and the dark fantasy that Warhammer is, being an executioner, traveling around to different cities and saying, oh, we need an executioner to stand in while we do this trial, and then we need you to kill somebody, and we'll pay you for it. It's kind of crazy, but it's really awesome. And there's a little card for it in the pull-out section. It's a nice career card, so make sure you download that pull-out section. Then we have, forgive me, I'm going to slaughter this name, Uberstrike by Night. It's a large city within the Empire, and this is a 14-page in-depth look at all of the seedy underbelly of the city and multiple contacts, multiple dark organizations and groups. It's amazing. Any of this can easily be used to transfer into your own home game, whether it's Fantasy Flight, Warhammer, or something else entirely. And it can also be used for a springboard for you to create your own things. It's an excellent article. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. And I'm not going to go into too much detail in these following articles because what we've just stumbled into is the GM section only. So it's a lot of rules, mechanics, and secrets that most of the players are not going to know about. So I don't want to spoil anything for players who might be playing in Warhammer and their GM decides to use this stuff. Then we have the Secret Signs 5-page article written by Sean Connors. Sean, this was an amazing article. You've created a simple system that can easily become complex, and it's so great because if you think about it historically, I'm pretty sure this system has already existed somewhere. Somebody's already done this in history. So what it is secret signs like I scratch my head, like 2 fingers, meaning I think there's 2 guards. Maybe I scratch my chin, like, I think there's 2 guards following me, so, I need your help, or something, it's this little, so you see, sitting in a bar, this guy goes like this, and that means something completely different. You're like, wow, that guy just scratched his head and itched his chin. Turns out he was messaging that guy over there in the corner saying, 2 guards following me inside, I need your help. Awesome article, Sean. Then we have a 22-page campaign. It starts off using a whole bunch of these awesome rules that we're talking about, and it's a full-fledged campaign. Part 1, mind you, Part 1. And it is fantastic. Not going to spoil it for anybody, so sorry if you guys were looking at an in-depth look at that. But that takes care of all the articles, and we are now going to talk about the good, the bad, questions left on the table, and the final verdict. So what's good about Liber Fanatica 8? Well, Liber Fanatica 8 has stepped up the bar for all the coming issues because this issue of the magazine was a skyrocket above any of the other magazines that have been put out before it. If you look at Liber Fanatica 7 or 6, 5, any of the ones back, and then look at Liber Fanatica 8, by far it is the best one that's been put out, just in the look, in the tone, in getting it to feel like it belongs in the Warhammer Fantasy rulebook, as if, this was something that Fantasy Flight said, hey, here's this supplement, take this. That's how awesome this product is. The articles are great. They have so many rule systems that you can add so many different things to open your eyes to the criminal side of the Empire. There's breathtaking artwork in here. It looks like it comes straight from Fantasy Flight. It's amazing. And the theme is so unique. You've got the criminal empire. It's not talking about the chaos side of things. It's not talking about anything else that Warhammer, I believe, just knowing a little bit that I do about it, traditionally does with their products. But what can I say that's bad about Liber Fanatica 8? Well, there are a few things. In a few of the articles, there are quote-unquote stories that are detailing like a rogue's life in the city, or there's an article that talks about a dwarf who's a trader and he started trading back and forth and he's become this rich lifestyle. These are nice little stories to have. However, the end of the stories, the last couple sentences, for some reason, I don't know if it's just my version when I downloaded it or if it's in everybody's that download it, the last few lines of the story are cut off and it just ends. So it's a little, it takes you out of it for a second. You're like, oh man, there goes that end of that story. I wonder what happened. Oh well, move on to the next article. Not too big of a deal. But this next issue comes out as some of these articles, while great, all of them are really great, some of these articles are going to be skipped over or unusable depending on what kind of party or group you have as a GM. Take, for example, the Traders article. Let me refer back to my notes right here. The 12 pages of trade rules and that can be used in Warhammer. If nobody in your group decides to be a trader, well, all of that falls to the wayside. That 12 pages is pretty much, not useless. It just becomes background fluff. You, as the GM, realize, yes, there's all this trading going on. This guy's doing this and this. That guy's doing this and this. And yes, you might be able to weave some small element in, but your players are never going to experience that awesome feeling of trading. They're never going to have the opportunity for them to grow their own empire of trade, if you will. And that article is just going to get skipped over. Same can be said with Executioner. If no one's going to do the Executioner career, another spot to just get skipped over. If you're doing a wilderness campaign and you're staying away from cities, then chances are you're not going to be doing anything pretty much with this product. But if you're getting this product, 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking you're going to be doing something inside cities to be around this criminal empire. So, what's left on the table? What questions are we coming away with from Liber Fanatica 8? Well, what about that campaign in the end? Is it going to keep going? Are we going to see part 2 in the next Liber Fanatica? I certainly hope so. Who's going to be writing the next Liber Fanatica? Sean, are you going to be stepping back up to the plate? Are you going to be taking on Liber Fanatica 9? Are we going to continue to see this level of workmanship, this level of devotion to the product? Is Liber Fanatica 8, or are we going to see a decline back down into Liber Fanatica 5-6 area? And personally, I wouldn't want to see that. I want to see this keep rising. This is a great product. But these are questions that are left on the table for people like me who want to see this keep going. Who, if not Sean Connors and the amazing people he had to work with, who's going to pick up the bar now and try to raise the standard even higher? So, with those questions left on the table, I'm going to give you my star rating. My final verdict is 4.5 stars. I just knocked off that one little half star because of, like I said, the restrictions to some of the articles. If players decide to just leave them on the table, then some of the articles you just can't use anymore. So, this has been my review of Liber Fanatica 8 for Sean Connors, and for anybody else interested in hearing about the product. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. It was really fun. I really enjoyed Liber Fanatica 8, Sean. Thanks for putting it out there. Thanks to everybody who contributed to it. and I will see you all later.